Imagine a world where every child thrives in a well-equipped school, learning skills to shape a sustainable future. A world where clean water flows freely, where green energy powers cities, where hunger is a word of the past, and equality isn't an aspiration, but a reality. This is the world we envision when we talk about the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, a global initiative to address the most pressing challenges of our time. Now picture a world where these goals remain unfulfilled. A world where children lack basic education, where millions go to bed hungry, where clean water is a luxury, where inequality runs rampant. It's a bleak picture, isn't it? Sadly, this is the world we live in today, a world in dire need of change. The Sustainable Development Goals set by the United Nations comprise 17 objectives designed to transform our world by 2030. They range from eradicating poverty and hunger to promoting quality education, gender equality, and sustainable cities and communities. The contrast between a world where the SDG goals are realized and one where they are not is stark. One teems with opportunity, equality, and prosperity, while the other languishes in deprivation, disparity, and despair. Hi, AI David Beckham here, former Manchester United star and proud ambassador for the UN here. Bradley and his team have asked me to help out explain the SDGs to you all, so get ready to explore it with me. Is the world progressing as it should towards the Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs? Are we as a global community on the right track? Let's delve into the current state of these goals one by one. First up, we have no poverty. Despite some strides in alleviating extreme poverty, it remains an issue, particularly in regions like South Asia and Sub-Saharan Africa, which account for a staggering 80% of those living in extreme poverty. Moving on to zero hunger, it's a different story. Central Asian, Caribbean and Latin American countries are leading the charge, making significant strides towards eliminating hunger. Good health and well-being is our third SDG. The world has seen significant reductions in primary causes of death and disease. Infant and maternal mortality rates have dropped, and the prevalence of HIV and malaria has also seen a noticeable reduction. Quality education is next. More children than ever are getting an education, leading to a dramatic increase in the global literacy rate. Gender equality is our fifth SDG. Over the last 2 decades, we've made remarkable progress, with women's roles in society becoming increasingly recognized and valued. Clean water and sanitation, the sixth SDG, has seen a significant improvement since 1990, with 2.1 billion people gaining access to improved sanitation. However, water scarcity still affects over 40% of the world's population, an alarmingly high figure. Affordable and clean energy is the seventh SDG. Access to electricity has risen from 70% to 90% since 2000, a significant increase. Our eighth SDG is decent work and economic growth. The rate of extreme poverty among workers has sharply declined over the past 25 years. In developing countries, 34% of workers have moved up to the middle class, escaping extreme poverty. SDG number 9 is industry, innovation and infrastructure. Here we face a significant challenge, as over 4 billion people still lack internet access, with 90% of these individuals hailing from developing countries. Finally, we have reduced inequalities. Income inequality remains a major issue. The richest 10% control up to 40% of global income, while the poorest 10% earn only between 2 to 7%. In a world teeming with innovation and progress, it's a sobering reality that global challenges continue to obstruct the path towards achieving the Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs. Together, we will delve into these barriers, with a particular focus on resource constraints, political and governance challenges, as well as climate change and environmental degradation. First, let's journey to Africa, a continent rich in culture and diversity, yet marred by educational disparity. The lack of quality education in several African nations presents a formidable obstacle to the achievement of SDGs. Without access to education, youth are unable to develop the skills necessary to contribute to their communities and economies, thereby stunting social and economic progress. Next, we shift our attention to Indonesia, a country grappling with infrastructure and healthcare deficiencies. The paucity of medical supplies and healthcare infrastructure hinders the nation's ability to provide basic healthcare services to its citizens, thereby impeding the progress towards ensuring healthy lives and promoting well-being for all. Our journey continues to India, a burgeoning global powerhouse currently wrestling with energy issues. The scarcity of clean energy sources in the country presents a significant barrier to sustainable development. The reliance on fossil fuels not only exacerbates environmental issues, but also inhibits the nation's transition to a sustainable economy. We then traverse to Mexico, where water scarcity is a pressing concern. Lack of access to clean, safe drinking water and sanitation facilities poses a serious threat to public health and hampers progress towards ensuring availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation for all. Turning to political and governance challenges, we delve into the ongoing political instability in Yemen. The prevailing unrest has led to a catastrophic humanitarian crisis, significantly hindering the nation's ability to achieve the SDGs. In Brazil, we see a different facet of governance issues. Here, corruption is the bane, draining resources meant for public goods and services, thereby thwarting efforts towards sustainable development. In Afghanistan, the absence of a stable, effective government further exacerbates these challenges, making the implementation of SDGs a daunting task. Lastly, we cannot overlook the role of climate change and environmental degradation in hampering SDG adoption. In the Greater Horn of Africa, recurring droughts have resulted in food and water scarcity, disrupting livelihoods and obstructing progress towards zero hunger and clean water and sanitation. In Bangladesh, hydrometeorological disasters pose a significant challenge. The persistent threat of floods and cyclones wreaks havoc on the nation's infrastructure, affecting the country's ability to achieve sustainable development. Have you ever paused to consider the ripple effects of sustainable development goals on our world? It's a fascinating exploration that takes us through the realms of socio-economics, environmental outcomes, and political landscapes. First, let's delve into the socio-economic effects. Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs, have a profound impact on our global economy. They strive to elevate the quality of life for all, ensuring dignified and rewarding work opportunities. By tackling poverty head-on, they open up avenues for individuals to boost their productivity and compete effectively in their respective markets. The ripple effect? A thriving global economy that benefits everyone, not just a select few. Turning our attention to environmental outcomes, SDGs are anchored in the pursuit of positive change. They champion access to renewable energy sources and strive to make our cities both sustainable and secure. The underpinning ambition here is to provide communities with a healthy, fulfilling way of life. This is achieved by prioritizing the growth of cities that are not only safe, but also economical. The fight against climate change is inextricably linked to the evolution of our urban landscapes, and SDGs are at the forefront of this battle. Finally, let's explore the political effects. The 2033 Agenda for Sustainable Development from the United Nations has outlined 5 key dimensions for assessment. These are governance, domestic political systems, integration and coherence of institutions and policies, inclusiveness of governments from local to global levels, and environmental protection. The influence of SDGs here is subtle but significant. They may not be a revolutionary force just yet, but they are certainly nudging our political systems towards a brighter future. Imagine a world where every country, every community, every individual, regardless of their location or status, comes together to solve a pressing issue. Picture the power of such a collective effort, the exchange of ideas, the pooling of resources, the shared sense of purpose. A perfect illustration of this is seen in the eradication of smallpox in the late 20th century. A disease that had plagued humanity for thousands of years was wiped off the face of the earth through a global cooperative effort. This monumental achievement was a testament to what we can accomplish when we unite for a common cause. Now let's embark on a journey through time and space to explore how global cooperation initiatives have made significant strides in promoting sustainable development. Travel back to the year 1972. The world was witnessing the birth of the first United Nations Conference on the Human Environment in Stockholm. This marked the first time that environmental issues were officially recognized on a global scale, setting the stage for future cooperation in this area. Fast forward to 1992 in the vibrant city of Rio de Janeiro. The Earth Summit took place, resulting in Agenda 21, a comprehensive plan of action to build a global partnership for sustainable development. This was a crucial turning point, establishing the concept of sustainability in the global political discourse. Then in the year 2000, the world saw the inception of the Millennium Development Goals, 8 ambitious goals aimed at addressing global issues such as poverty, education, and health. These goals have guided international development efforts for the following 15 years, showcasing the power of global cooperation in driving sustainable development. In 2015, the baton was passed to the Sustainable Development Goals, 17 interconnected goals that provide a blueprint for peace and prosperity for people and the planet. These goals emphasize the importance of global partnerships and cooperation in achieving a sustainable future. Now let's distill the essence of this journey. The power of global cooperation is not just about pooling resources or sharing knowledge, but about fostering a sense of unity and shared responsibility. It's about realizing that our actions, no matter how small, can contribute to a larger global goal. It's about understanding that sustainable development is not just a concept, but a necessity for our survival and the survival of generations to come. Global cooperation initiatives have played a pivotal role in promoting sustainable development, be it through monetary contributions, technological transfers, or capacity building efforts. They have not only helped us inch closer to achieving the Sustainable Development Goals, but have also championed the principles of human rights and social justice. In conclusion, the Sustainable Development Goals are not just ideals, they are a roadmap to a better and more sustainable world. They highlight the stark contrast between a world that meets these objectives and one that does not. In sum, the SDGs aim to eradicate poverty, ensure quality education for all, promote gender equality, ensure access to clean water and sanitation, and foster sustainable cities and communities, among other objectives. A world that realizes these goals is a world of prosperity, equality, and sustainability. A world that falls short is one marred by poverty, illiteracy, inequality, and environmental degradation. The choice is clear. Embrace the Sustainable Development Goals and work tirelessly to achieve them. The world we envision is within our grasp, but only if we act now. The clock is ticking and the time for action is now.